If you're mad today, if this Draymond thing, if it gets you going, I get it. I totally get it. But you're mad at the Warriors. You're not mad at Draymond. Draymond just doing exactly what he always does. So, like, if that whole definition of insanity thing, like if you're like, it's time to release Draymond, well, you're mad at the Warriors.
That day's already passed.
Yeah, you're mad at the Warriors. You're not mad at Draymond. The Warriors have had one take on this their entire lives. Okay with us.
Yeah, and I'm not mad at Draymond. Yeah. And I'm surprised that so many people are, quote, mad at Draymond. I'm happy with Draymond, and I'm lightweight proud of Draymond because what Rudy Gobert did as a, quote, unquote, peacemaker is bull chips, is what it is. And I won't be careful, Mark, because
be careful.
I'm a lightweight furious at the notion that he was a peacemaker. And so we go to the video and we look at it and we see him come in and try to make peace by grabbing a Warrior player, and he doesn't give him in the chokehold like Draymond put Rudy in the chokehold, but he puts his hands on Klay Thompson, and he didn't need to put his hands on Klay Thompson. That whole thing was about 0.2 seconds away from being over. They got tangled. Klay pulled his jersey. He got pulled back. They twirled each other around. They came together. People rushed in, and Rudy Gobert, to me, was the one who accelerated that by putting his hands on Klay. And then Draymond Green came in, and he did what Draymond does, which is kick it up about 1,000 notches.
Totally.
And he put that whole thing to bed. When he takes Rudy Gobert away on a short walk around his neck, that whole thing ended. Steve Kerr comes in with a whoa, 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 and other Warrior coaches and security, whoa, whoa, whoa.
But do you notice who Steve is looking at with the whoa, whoa, whoa?
He's looking at the guy who is holding the other player by the neck.
Thank you.
He's not telling Rudy Gobert, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Well,
and the whole idea of Rudy, and we've all looked at the video and the still frame of Rudy with his bulging eyes. Rudy's life was never in danger. Rudy was never short of breath.
No one's
Rudy was. I've seen the phrase choked out and submitted and all these other things.
Come on.
No.
Yeah,
and
I'm
that's
with you.
where
I'm
it's
with you.
nonsense.
No,
Rudy got what he deserved.
He didn't get anything. He did not get what he deserved.
He got taken away by the neck by Draymond Green.
He got called a peacemaker, Dibs. Like,
he's
actually,
a peace
the only
maker.
thing, if you want to look at what was wrong last night, it's funny that, and not surprising that we're fixated on Draymond. Draymond was the only one of the four who was handled correctly by the league. He was ejected. It's the only one who was handled correctly. Rudy Gobert got called a peacemaker. Give me a break. And Klay and McDaniels both got thrown out of the game. Give me a break.
Right.
Why? Like, two guys got tangled. Their hands are in each other's jerseys. I love how many Warrior fans, I'm like, McDaniels started it. No, whatever. They both were in each other's bag.
Right.
And they shoved and they threw and they did what two dudes do when they get frustrated with each other. It was hilarious that it happened 1 minute into the game. And we talked about this, by the way.
We did.
We asked Steve Kerr last week. This is like a mini playoff series. Do you have any concerns with regard to the fact that you're playing a team back-to-back? Because feelings get held over for 48 hours. And lo and behold, we've got a fight 1 minute into the game.
Yeah.
We'll talk to Steve again on Friday.
I love it.
Because guess what? About to go do it again.
Another stay in hate.
And he will stay. He will talk to us right in between the two games against Shea and his pals with Oklahoma City. So
I called it a stay in play.
Yes,
but I'm going to change
that.
it to stay in hate.
Doesn't rhyme. Let's see what else we can
Maybe
work
a
on.
stay in Shea, because that's what it's going to be.
That's funnier. Anyway,
something.
I like Rudy. Rudy was not a peacemaker. Klay and Jaden should not have been thrown out of the game. Draymond should have been. And I do think a suspension is actually in order and fair, and I'm not mad at him for doing it. Like, somewhere in there, we have to, I think, be open to that, where you're like, Dre stood up for his guy, and I like that, and oh, by the way, in the NBA, you can't do that, so you get thrown out and suspended, especially when you're Draymond. I think all of that is fair.
I think Rudy Gobert should be suspended for a game. Rudy Gobert his action is what prompted Draymond Green's action. If Rudy Gobert just did the old push away, my guy, your guy, hey you guys, get away from each other, instead of grabbing Klay Thompson about the shoulders and the neck, Draymond Green would not have come in and gotten Rudy Gobert around the throat.
Maybe not.
I don't think so.
Maybe not. Draymond, he is opportunistic with things like this.
Yes,
Agreed?
he is.
He likes to go.
Agree.
You're given an invitation to go after someone.
He punched a teammate 13 months ago. I'm not going to defend Draymond Green to the point of saying, well, the only reason why Draymond acted was because of that. Draymond Green is prone to actions that go outside the lines, but I believe that his action was prompted by Rudy Gobert. So if you're going to throw out the two guys involved in the initial incident and Draymond, you got to throw out Gobert as well. Because Gobert, his action of grabbing Klay Thompson for no reason. Klay was not about to punch the Timberwolves player.
My biggest issue here with Rudy, because I do think that, like, it's about intent, and we always say that we can tell what intent was going on, and we don't really know. But I do think Draymond, if this matters to anybody, was going after Rudy's neck more than Rudy was going after Klay's neck. He grabbed, his hand slip up to Klay's neck, not excusing it by any stretch. My question, though, is not why'd you go after Klay's neck. My question is why'd you go to Klay at all? Go to your teammate. That's how you handle a scuffle in pro sports. You go if you are, quote unquote, a peacemaker.
Right.
You go to your teammate, not the other team. And what Draymond did is precisely why. Because if you do go to the other team, that's going to be viewed by the other team as you're attacking my guy. Get your hands off my guy. So I love that Draymond went and stood up for Klay. Did he overdo it? Of course. That's what he does. That's what he does every single time. So I reject the idea of calling Rudy a peacemaker. However, do I think that he went with as much malicious intent as Draymond did? No, I don't. If it were me looking at the video, Klay and Jaden, here's a couple of technical fouls and move on.
Agreed.
Rudy, you've got a technical foul as well. Draymond, locker room's that way, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. That's how I would have done it.
For me, Rudy goes. If Draymond goes, Rudy goes.
Yeah, I get it.
Rudy had no business putting his hands on Klay in that fashion. And again, this is from me, and you know me, Mark. I've never been a Draymond apologist. I've actually been on the other side almost 9 times out of 10. I don't suffer through his ref berating, his ejections, his technical fouls. When he stomped on Sabonis and said, well, where was I supposed to put my foot? I wasn't buying it, and I ripped him for 2 days over that. But in this case, I totally defend Draymond Green. Yes, he should have been ejected. I don't think he deserves 10 games. I think he should get maybe 1 game. You get 1 more. You already missed a whole game. You get 1 more game,
You're right,
and Rudy Gobert gets a game.
I don't think they look at it. You're right, but I don't think they'll look at it that way.
Of
Just
course
my
not.
guess.
It's Draymond.
Yeah.
If it was Andrew Wiggins who did that, let's just say it was Andrew Wiggins comes in.
We would be thrilled.
Stunned.
We would be like,
First of all, stunned.
By the way, he did. I don't even know how to say this, and I heard it.
Say it
with Bonte and Joe this morning. It was one of the most phenomenal conversations because Wiggins came up and one of them goes, "Look, he tried," and I was like,
"Right."
And Spadone jumped in and he's like, "Will you listen to this conversation?"
It's hilarious.
Well, they're not wrong. You watched last night's game and you're like, the aggressiveness that you want was there.
Sure.
The production was still not.
Well, and
you're like,
tweeted
is
at Grandy.
That what we're doing now with $1 billion sports?
Grandy had a
He
tweet,
tried.
and I responded. I'm like, what about Wiggins? And Grandy responded saying, hey, Wiggins at least tried.
He tried.
And I was like, I saw that response. I was like, you know what, Grandy? 4 of 15. You got a point.
Yep.
I can't say that he didn't try.
Billy's mom's brought donuts, so congratulations.
Oh my
Great
God.
job
That's
out there today.
Number 1 overall pick.
Yay!
He tried.
Good effort.
The bar for Wiggins right now is, did he try?
I mean, no, but he did. You know, what did he have? 5 or 6 rebounds? Like, the aggressiveness was there. His shot just doesn't go in when he shoots it. I don't know what to do with that. What are we supposed to do with that? Are we supposed to just be like, but? I don't know. I don't think we can do that in pro sports. We're soft enough here on the West Coast. We're nice enough to our players.
Yeah.
Okay? And I like that. That's a good thing. It's a good thing.
Keep trying, Andrew.
But
you'll get him. It's just
he tried.
He tried.
Hey, let's get a couple in before Momo jumps on here in a few minutes. Mike and Hayward with Willard and Dibs. Hey, Mike. What's up?
You guys I think that Draymond should get suspended, but but I'm for him defending Klay. But Rudy Gobert, he's just as worse, right? You don't grab the same other guy's team. You don't be doing that, right? He's kind of like, not too bright, okay? And so I never thought he was too bright anyway, right? And then as far as Klay, they got it wrong. Klay and the other guy shouldn't have got tossed. It should have been the other two guys, right? And Rudy Gobert if Draymond should get suspended, so should Rudy Gobert. Now, maybe not as many days, but Gobert got a suspension because Gobert know he got away with something. And because I looked at the Timberwolves coach, he pretended like he didn't know what was going on. I didn't really see what happened. He was right there on the side when it started, right? So, and by the way, so all that talk about, but I still think the Warriors bench looked pretty good. I like to talk about how the team looked. They looked pretty good without three players that they needed.
Mike, I'm glad you brought that up there at the end. Thank you, Mike. It was a very entertaining watch.
It was a fun game.
It was very frustrating the way it ended because it looked the whole night like it was like you kind of have it. You had it. You had it. And it was like surprising because you're getting efforts from people that you hadn't even seen play before. The Podziemski thing, incredibly encouraging. Like he was a really entertaining watch. And then you get to the end and you're like, you can feel this slipping away. And Chris Paul made 3 or 4 really, I don't know, questionable decisions.
Right.
Especially the last one.
He owned up to it.
I'm like, dude, you got an 8-footer.
It was the previous one where he jumped and then he kind of softly passed it to no one.
So he got stuck in no man's land there, and people wanted him to shoot it. And I do just want to let everyone know, if he shoots it, Rudy Gobert puts it in the 8th row.
Rudy Gobert was way on the other side of the rim. I disagree.
He's 8 feet tall, and he would have gotten there, in my opinion.
Yeah,
but the one at the end, when he hucks it out for the corner 3 that Gobert blocks,
right.
That's the one, man, because I forget, were they down 1 at that point, I think? It's like, dude, you were inside the free throw line with no one around you, and you're Chris Paul. You can just pull up from 8 feet.
It's what you do.
Felt like that was a 75% shot if he just jump, stop, take it.
Well, not this year, but even if it's a 50% shot, it felt better than a kick to the corner and a Saric 3. And Gobert, like you said, he closes out like Inspector Gadget.
Oh, my God.
And he just, I was watching with Supper, and she's like, air ball. And I said, I think he blocked it. And then, because she
threw out an air
she's
ball?
only half watching. We're doing a lot of things.
Sharks put up a 23-footer that went 16 feet. She's like, oh, he was off on that one.
No. She goes, air ball. I told you they weren't going to be that good this year. I said, sweetie, I think it was blocked.
You're like, that was one of the 2 guys who played well tonight.
I mean, yeah, let's give Saric a pass.
On Dario.
The one comment she had all game was, air ball.
That's hilarious.
It's so funny.
I'll tell you what.
And I was like, honey, I think you got a piece of it.
I was watching with lovely Christy, the top of the arc one that Dario put in. She was like, I go, man, that was a shot. I'm like, I love that guy this year. She's like, it looked like a line drive. I didn't like it. I'm like, all right, well, it went in.
It a 5.
I'm like, okay, so Rod Higgins shot it. Whatever, it went in.